financial coach, and she's done a lot of amazing things with me to help out. And I don't know, if you want to learn how to be a millionaire, you be friends with Patti, is what I'm saying. So it's good to stick around and stay. I know some of you guys have to go. I know I have to go too, but highly recommend. And hi, Patti. Hi, good to see you.
Yay. So thank you again,
Great
Patti,
to
for
see you
coming
too.
back and coming back to bring us more goods. We so enjoyed the first class we had with you last month. And for those who missed it, we do have that recorded. And so we're super stoked. So you can share with us. I'm like, oh, I forgot what we were going to talk about today. But I was like, I told Patty's like, I could give a message. I'm like, you can give a message a month. I'm like, bring the wisdom. I'm like, we are ready to learn. So I'm going to hand it to you to bring the goods.
Beautiful. Well, just that last PDI message, man, that was some gold nuggets. I hope you guys were taking it in. I hope you practice that, listen to it, because man, this is some good stuff, and you don't realize how much of this helps until you're in the middle of it. This July, or even in June, you'll be like, wait a second, Kathy was teaching me this. How do I help them close? So definitely. Please review it as much as possible. So let me go ahead and dive in. So today, the three main things I'm going to be talking about, and this is primarily for those of you who are assistant managers. Great job staying on and learning more about this. I'm going to talk mainly about two things today. And the first part, I'm going to talk about some financial best practices. So this is mainly geared towards people who are opening up an office this summer, both branch and districts. However, for you assistant managers that want to stay on and listen, you could definitely take some of those as well. I will be reviewing the Rising Stock service for you branch and district managers. And I'll give you a chance to sign up. And then I'm also going to be covering systems to save your profits specifically for running your office this summer. And for those assistant managers who want to stay on the entire time, then you can help your district manager save their profit as well. So that way they don't waste unnecessary money. So I'm going to go ahead and start my screen. Of course, I have a PowerPoint for you all, and then hopefully we will have some chance for some Q&A as well. So can you all see my screen? Okay, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, beautiful, wonderful. So and then if we have time, we'll do some Q&A, but I'll also give you my information so you can be able to reach out if you need to. So, and Cody and Jacob, it's fantastic to see you guys too. I love always seeing you guys and talking with you. So, all right. So first, we're going to talk about some financial best practices. We're going to cover some do's and don'ts here. I'm going to rapid fire through these, but then we can also stop for to take any breaths. So there's this myth out there amongst business owners that as long as you have a copy of it on your bank statement, you don't need to keep the receipt. And this is for your write-offs. So as you all know, you're a 1099. So basically, you have all of your income claimed, right? You have all of your income on a 1099. And then what you need to do is show any write-off or anything that you spent on your business, and that will lower the amount of income that you pay taxes on. And so anything that you want to claim as a deduction, you want to have a receipt for. So if you buy some, office furniture, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, you want to keep the receipt for that. And it needs to be itemized, because if the IRS or, like a couple of years down the line, if you're ever to get audited by the IRS, all that is they want to see proof, and what proof they want to see is the itemized receipt of that purchase. So here's a couple of things about keeping receipts. So one, you can throw all your receipts into like a gigantic shoebox, right? Or you could do like a envelope. I used to do like a Ziploc bag. It would be each month would be a different, or each bag would be a different month, and I would just Sharpie it, go to the dollar store, you don't have to buy very expensive ones. Or you can get the app, and it's my favorite 4-letter F word. It's free. It's a free app, Expensify. You can download it. It's IRS approved, and you just scan your receipts, and it's uploaded into the, space of the internet. And so that's how you can keep your receipts, so you can deduct them. And then for those of you who are assistant managers and you're not on Rising Stock, you have all of those things in one spot. So you could be able to go through and find all your deductions for tax season. All right. So the next thing is for those of you who are opening up an office, please don't buy expensive furniture. I will tell you that my biggest year as a district manager, it was 947,000. It's just shy of $1 million. Anyway, it was like in this back alley office, like in the corner with like all used furniture. The point I'm making is that like buying expensive furniture doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to ship more. So of course you want your office to look nice and you want people to feel safe in it. But don't buy expensive furniture. If you haven't posted on all the medias yet that you're opening an office and that you're looking for furniture for, again, my favorite 4-letter F word, free, I would highly recommend doing that. See whatever furniture you can get and try to buy as little as possible. And if you are going to buy it, go to thrift stores, try to refurbish it yourself, fix up any of the dings. So I've looked at hundreds of P&Ls. I've been with Rising Stock as a client since 2005. So a long time, but as a coach, I've been with Rising Stock since 2015 or 2016. And the number one expense I see most people just spend excess amount of money on. Like the biggest thing I see people's jaws drop on when they look at their expenses is how much they spent on food. And it's typically, I spent how much on Chick-fil-A? I spent how much on going out? And it's because during the summer, you're so busy that you don't even realize like, oh, I'll just DoorDash it. Oh, I'll just go to I'll just go out to eat really fast. If you got to put it in your plan. So as you're planning out your business, and how many recruits and how you want to recruit and how you want to produce CPO, also plan out where you're going to meal prep. And that sounds so silly, but if it's not in the schedule, it's not going to happen. And this is going to save you so much money, and it's going to make you feel so much better too. How many of you are aware that you get like Cutco at an extremely discounted price as a district or branch manager? Okay, some of you. Okay, great, most of you. So you get Cutco at 1/3. So when you get promoted, you'll have access to purchase Cutco at 1/3. So barter with it. So if you can negotiate an office lease and you can knock off $1,000 by giving them $1,000 worth of product, you just paid 1/3 of what you would have. Barter with everything. You guys are great salespeople. That's why you're going out. So if you have to get your car fixed, just ask for the order. Ask like, hey, instead of paying this full amount, I sell a product called Cutco, yada, yada, just ask for the order and see if you can be able to lower prices with Cutco, and you'll be surprised how much you can get by with that. Okay, so the next one is don't feed your team too much. Your district manager, Kathy, they might like take you out and make you feel really great. They might take you to these great meals and wine and dine you. You as a new manager, do not do that for your team, okay? You want to spend as little as possible. There's been so many new managers who have just spent way too much on taking their team out. And in the end, your team just wants to spend time with you. So you could buy snacks and at the office and they'll hang out with you and they'll be happy about it. Robert Gonzalez, he's another Rising Stock coach. He won a silver cup as a branch. And he talks about how he spent so much taking his team out to eat, and none of them remember the restaurants they went to, but they do remember the time together. And that's really all that matters. This bullet point of please do not co-sign any leases or legal agreements is really important, because at some point this summer, you might have somebody who asks you to co-sign on a car lease, an apartment lease, because they don't have good credit or their family isn't in a great position. Either way, just one of the things I'd be prepared to do is just say, hey, I don't do that, but let's brainstorm other people in your family that can help you out. I've unfortunately had to coach several people through this process of getting out of something that has completely destroyed their credit. invest in the right areas of your business. So investing in your business, especially at the beginning, specifically in recruiting. I'm sure you guys have been talking about SMRAs or callers of some sort, and spending money in that will always pay off because recruiting is the answers. But do learn how to get really good at promoting. Vector has so many contests and so many things to have your team get excited about. You don't really need to make your own contests. So just know like all the contests that are already available. But if you are going to have additional contests, be smart about it. And there's 2 points of being smart about it. One, never make up a contest in the middle of a team meeting. Typically your energy is really high, you're not thinking straight, and you'll just give away a lot of stuff that you'll be like, hey, I don't think that was a really profitable move. Second is, so you think about it outside the team meeting, and then I would run it by your district manager or Kathy and ask them about the contest, and they can either give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. And so when you first start, so I kind of reviewed this on our last call. Like May, you have this thing called Dollaria, which is like you're spending money, like it's coming out of your, like you just feel like you're spending a ton of money. You're paying collars, you're paying for rent, you're paying for office furniture, and you just feel like you're like vomiting and money is just coming out of you. But in June and the end of May, when you start recruiting, you're going to be starting to get these big paychecks, some of the biggest paychecks you've ever seen in your life. And the biggest thing you don't want to do is say, I'm rich, woo! And you're like super excited about the paycheck, because that paycheck, the majority of it should be reinvested back into your business. And so the best thing that you can do right now is figure out, as a business owner, how much do you need to live on? So what are your personal expenses? If you don't have this already figured out, you want to figure out your personal expenses. And then you want to make sure that you are only paying yourself that amount for the summer. One of the things that my original DVM would tell me is to live like I was poor my first summer, so that way I wasn't overspending, because it can be really easy to do, especially when you have money coming in and it's more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. So, so don't view it as your paycheck. Whole paycheck is yours. Just a portion of it is yours to live on at the time. The rest should be invested in your business so you can make more money. And then by the end of the summer, you definitely should have way more than you know what to do with. And we'll talk about that. Okay, so let me talk about rising stock, and then I'm going to move into systems to save your profit. And so, so how many of you are familiar with rising stock, just by show of hands? All right, a few people. Okay, so let's well, let me tell you about it. So Rising Stock was essentially started back in 2002 by a guy named Adam Stock. He was a district manager, and he found that by talking to other managers that people were really good at learning how to sell Cutco, but they weren't great at knowing what to do with the profits or how to be as profitable. So he created a service called Rising Stock, and we've been in business for over 21 years serving the Cutco community. So basically, there's two programs. There's a branch and district programs. Both get this beautiful monthly profit and loss report. So it looks like this. This is a district one, where it has all of your different types of incomes, especially as a district manager, you have a lot of different types. And then business expenses. So these are things like, your office phone, which is your cell phone, web PDI, company literature. Of course, not all of these are filled, but we have them all categorized so you can see specifically how much you're spending in each area. We'll have like total expenses down here, and then your net profit and loss. And this is so helpful to see just a bird's eye view, like, wow, how much did I make? Like one of the most successful branches last year, his name is Michael Hall. He had no idea how much he made until we looked at his P&L. And just during the summer, he made over $46,000 as a branch. And we were able to look at his P&L. He's like, whoa, okay, that's why I feel so great. So anyway, but the other real big benefit is that at the end of the year, when it's tax season like it is now, instead of scrambling and going through all of different bank accounts and everything, our clients, our Rising Stock clients, are able to take this, send it to their accountant, and this is all the deductions for them. So it's already taken care of. So both branch and district programs get that monthly profit and loss report. Branches get a weekly profitability podcast, which is phenomenal. It's like real time advice on how to be as profitable as possible. And then new district managers, you get monthly one-on-one coaching calls. I'm assigned to your the region and your division, so it'd be with me for you districts. We would do one-on-one 30-minute calls where I could be able to help you identify areas where you could be more profitable, save more, make income goals, all sorts of things. So the rising stock process is really there's three people involved. There's you. You're probably the most important. You have an account rep assigned to you, and then you have a profitability coach for your DMs. The account reps are one of these lovely individuals. They do all the behind the scene wonder. They're Excel wizards, and they take all of your expenses from your bank account, Venmo, Vector Connect, everywhere, and they organize that on that beautiful spreadsheet. And then you have your profitability coach. Like I said, that would be me. And so what happens is a new month begins. So your service would start in May, but we have to wait till May is all over before we can look at any of your expenses. So June would begin. Your account rep downloads all of your expenses from June. So they download them from Vector Connect, checking, credit cards, Venmo, all of that. Then they categorize all the known expenses. So if it's on Vector Connect, they know that it's obviously a business expense, but if you spent $200 at Walmart, they don't know if that's for you or your or for your office. So they'll send you an email saying, hey, are these personal or are these for your business? And you'll let her know. And then she'll complete the report, he or she. And then for those of you who are DMs, you'll do a coaching call with me. So that's how the cycle works. Now, Kathy's been on Rising Stock for a decade or years, a very long time. So long time. So you might be wondering, how much does this cost? Well, bookkeeping is like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices available, and if you were to look at some bookkeeping costs, it could be upwards of like $500 a month. Well, I'm happy to say that we're not $500 a month. We're not even as much as the whoosh stuff bookkeeping. The branches, you get reports only. It's normally $476 for the whole summer. You actually get a discount because Lloyd is amazing at getting discounts. And so it's only $357 for the whole summer. So it breaks down to $89 a month. Now, what's really great, branches, is that actually comes right out of your startup. So once you sign up, I get your name. And then basically we say, hey, these people signed up. Kathy says, yep, take it out of their startup. And you don't have to do anything except for actually participate in the service. For you DMs, you get reports plus a 30-minute coaching call per month. And the coaching call starts in June. It's $175 a month, and that starts June 15th. That's when the charges begin. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to sign up today because we do have a first call special. And that is anybody to sign up by April 15th gets entered into a drawing to win $500 cash. And so I have a QR code here for you to go ahead and enroll. I'm going to give you just a minute or two. If you want to scan it, it's a very quick form. Basically, you just have to put your name, who your division manager is, your district manager is, that you give us access for I think it's your Vector Connect password. You don't have to pay for anything today, but we want to make sure to have your information signed up so we have plenty of time to reach out to you to get everything set up. After this, I am going to cover the systems for profit, but before I do, Kathy, any thing that you'd like to say? If you systemize the predictable, you can humanize the unpredictable. So one of the most important things that you want to put in your schedule, this has saved a lot of people. So if we think about your office as a ship, we don't want any leaky profitability holes, right? We want your ship to sail fast, not to sink. And so this admin hour is probably one of the biggest ways that you can make sure that your ship is free of any leaky profitability holes. So this is just an hour. I usually recommend it on like a Tuesday or Monday is the ideal time. And here's a couple of things that you want to do in this admin hour. These are things that could be forgotten about, but are so important. And so the first one is the fast start prizes. And we're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit. That's so important to make sure to put in. Base pay, review sample kits, review recruiting efficiency, order supplies, and plan for team meetings and messages. So I'm going to go into depth about the fast start prizes, base pay, and sample kits. But reviewing recruiting efficiency, like looking on your Vector Live and seeing how efficient you are, if you're doing PR calls or the PR systems or campus systems, your show to training, your launch, all these things are important because you can change that on a week-to-week basis by just adjusting it. And so ordering supplies, it's the worst when you realize you're out of something like in the middle of right when you need it. So planning ahead 1 to 2 weeks, and then planning messages for team meeting and events. Something I learned from Kathy a long time ago is like if you run really good events, you're going to have people stick around. So you don't want to be making that up on the fly. So oops. Let's go back. Okay, so fast start prizes. Order fast start prizes within a week of them being earned. So even if somebody starts and they don't do a whole lot, order them. If they won the fork or, like whatever their first prize is, order it for them because you don't even know what that will do for your word of mouth. I know I personally had a 6K fast starter because somebody started with me, didn't sell very much, decided it wasn't for them, but they recommended the job to someone who was really good at the job because they were like, I did this job. It wasn't really for me, but I got a fork and I think you would be really good at it. And he was. So I'm really glad that I ordered that fork for that person. Come here, Bubs. So one of the biggest things is you want to make sure to order the fast start prizes through. There's a specific fast start tab under Vector Connect. Do not order it through your third price because you'll spend a lot more money that way. So what you do is when you are running your office, there's a running your office section and fast start awards. Okay, so do not order it through your third. All right, so for base pay tips, as far as base pay goes, like it's a really great system. Base pay is fantastic, but just know what areas you need to really nail to make sure that people are excited to sell. Make sure that base pay is entered every single week, no exceptions. And the biggest thing that if you're going to be shadowing your DM from here on to out, just know what the process or protocol is for if and when you need to verify demos. So if somebody is what we might call like running on base pay, a base pay runner, like they're doing a bunch of appointments and not selling anything, what is the protocol? What's the system for that? So do you stop someone after so many appointments? What's the conversation that you have? Because you'll have to have that at some point this summer with one person. It doesn't happen a ton, but it does happen. So it's good to know and not just turn a blind eye. And don't delegate base pay your first summer to somebody else because you want to see how your reps are doing and make sure that nothing gets looked over as far as somebody is a base pay runner. All right, sample kits. So as far as sample kits this summer, this is an area where people can also leak profitability. So the first one is make sure you're clear about how to explain it. I like to use the library book example, right? That's not theirs. They're checking it out. They're going to check it back in. Admin hour is a chance for you to look to see who's close to getting charged. So, after 1 week of no sales, they get put on a list. And then after 3 weeks, you'll get charged for their sample kit if they haven't put in any orders. You can, of course, get the charge reversed once you get the sample kit back or once they put in an order. But so you want to verify that, but you also want to look at your sample kit count. So Olean's going to ship you a bunch of sample kits, and they're going to say, all right, Cheyenne, we sent you 25 sample kits. How many do you have accounted for? And you're like, oh, I gave out 10 and I have 15 in my closet, so I have 25. But if you're ever off, you actually are liable for those sample kits. So if you are missing 2, you'll get charged for those 2. So you just want to make sure that you're verifying this frequently, once a week. Check with who needs to get an order, like I mentioned before, and text or call reps to return their sample kits. This is not something you want to spend a ton of time on, but if you can send a group text through WebPDI or copy and paste to people to get them to return their kits so you can get your money back, that would be great. I would recommend prepping your bag. So we used to have a bag like this. I know you guys don't have this anymore, but I would tape something on like the whatever bag you put all the knives in, even if it's the plastic bag, property of Vector Marketing with your address. And then it also has a kit number on here. So every kit should have a number. So kit 1, kit 5, kit 27. This way, if somebody leaves their bag at the office, which I've had happen multiple times, you can look at it. You should have like a Google spreadsheet of some sort with like kit number 1 was issued to, Jacob Kinnamore. And, this was on this date. And I could look at it and say, hey, Morgan, you left your sample kit at the office at team meeting because I have kit number 23 here. So do you want that for your appointment? And they'll say yes. So I would prep your bag in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be in this scenario. It doesn't have to be the what I had issued there, but something similar. And then stay organized, right? Like creating a spreadsheet should be pretty simple. And biggest one is make sure your sample kits are locked up, because we don't want those going somewhere. So if you have a closet in your office, if you don't, you can have a sample, like a locked cabinet. Just make sure you like put the key on like one of your keychains or something. But you want to make sure to keep your sample kits locked up, because if a box of those gets taken, then that could be a good amount of money for you. So, so the 3-step solution that Adam brought up is buy a steel cabinet, have a sample kit log inside. I would recommend a Google spreadsheet so you can have multiple columns, and then just log everything. So those are just a couple of keys that will help you save some money this summer. And money can't buy you happiness, but neither can poverty. So you might as well be rich. Here's my my socials, my phone number, my email. So if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to send you any of those slides or have any specific questions about those, feel free to reach out. Kathy, did I miss anything? Any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
None of mine. I don't know if we want to open it up if there's any other questions anybody has while we still have Patti here, and before we walk through some last wrap up things.
Yes.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you, those are the yes.
No, I think everyone's
we're
good.
all good. Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you guys. It's nice to see you, and I'll be excited to come back one more time before you guys all open. So thank you, Kathy, and I'll look forward to talking with you guys soon.
Let's hear. So last couple of things that are important right now. So we have wrapped up. I think tomorrow morning is the last couple of things with mailer stuff. And so I want to make sure you guys know and understand how most of you guys, and a couple of you will talk to you individually to make sure you have your stuff. And know like the flow. So we want to make sure you guys have some cash up front. So for most of your out of pocket, we actually did like a chargeback, meaning for your $1,000 out of pocket, this was the most common. Let me put a whiteboard here. All right. So this was the most common thing that I had. Can you guys see it? Is this like a new way they do whiteboards now? Can you guys see it? Can someone unmute and say yes or no?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So if you had $1,000 out of pocket, this is everyone except for Jackie, because she had like 7 grand saved. So if you had $1,000 pocket, what we did in most cases is we did a $500 from the company startup, all right, that they're charging off of that. And then the other $500, all right, we did a 2% repay. All right, some of you guys have more, and so it's at 3%, which means that when your office sells $25,000, then you're paid off. Okay, so how this works is for every $100 that you earn, what'll happen is, in this how we did this, I'm trying to see if I can open this, but I guess not, is this is what it looks like, is for every $100 earned, you'll get that, right? Like based on, I mean, if you have other stuff you're charging, obviously you won't get all that, but in terms of 2% means if you're getting $100, $98 is going to you and $2 is going to the mailers. Cool. That's what 2% repay means. It's just $2 of every $100 that you're going to get is just going back to pay for the mailers. So that
Now,
way,
Kathy, usually a 2% repay is, are you talking about like a region advance type deal? Because it normally comes from the 2% of sales.
yeah, no, I'm just saying from the like money that they know for every $100, $2 is going to be taken out. So that's all I want you guys to know or understand right now. Like we don't need to go into all the detail, but just for every $2, every $100, they would take $2 with a 2%. If you want to go to me tilt, we can. Many of you prepaid, you had enough money saved up. You know, others, like I know, Morgan, you have $2,500, you have money saved up, but we also need to like pay rent, like pay the deposits and stuff for the office. So I prefer to use more, you know, startup that might be locked up more so that we could have your cash available right away. But it's still all coming from the same place. So we'll look at it. But that'll be done this week. In 3 weeks, we have summer kickoff. All right. And so on Friday, you guys need to be arriving and parking. You need to be aiming between 3 and 3:30 to arrive downtown. So you can park across the street, get over to the proper building where the club is, go upstairs, find the room, and be seated by 3:45. Cool. We start at 4 p.m. on Friday the 12th with all offices that are opening. We will go till 9 and we have dinner at the club. So bring some cash for dinner, or you can bring your own food. Cool. Whatever you want. But we will be there. We have a meeting space there from 4 to 9 for all opening offices. On Saturday, we're finalizing right now. We will have kickoff all together. Here's what's very important. We need counts from you guys by next Tuesday on how many assistant managers you have that you're going to be bringing. Y'all want to bring anyone that you have, any of your friends, anyone considering. Morgan, your sister should be there. Anyone that might help in any shape or form for your office. You want them with us Saturday, April 13th. Got it? We're going to be from 10 to 5 is the regional summer kickoff. 10 to 11:30 will be divisional stuff. And then we'll go into the regional portion until 5. And then afterwards, we're going to do bowling and food and hang out and stuff. Cool. So we will be taking care of the managers. We will be paying for your food that day. And for the event space. All right. So just so you guys know that. And so any AMs that you bring, we're going to pay for that. If you want to bowl, you need to bring your money for bowling. Cool. So we're going to handle food and drinks on Saturday the 13th. And then if you want to bring a couple bucks to bowl, bring that with you, or arcades or anything like that. Just know that that's our plan for that Saturday. Okay. So I'm letting you guys know now because it's going to creep up. It's 3 weeks from Saturday, y'all. That's it. Okay. So we want to make sure we're getting commitments. We're getting brothers, sisters, cousins, best friends, anyone who might help you locked in to be there with us so that they can get a bigger feel for what's going to be happening, what's going down, and get some coaching before the summer kicks off. Okay. And the last thing is we have the AM Bootcamp series. And I know some of you guys who are opening haven't been to those because you're not going to be an AM this summer. There's a lot of stuff you've never learned from me that's there. And I would highly recommend going back and listening to those calls. I'm going to add the 4th one today. Later this evening, the 4th one will be up and I'll post it into the group, but there is a playlist on my, if you guys go on my YouTube, on the Vector YouTube, Gulf Coast Vector YouTube, there is a playlist, all right, that has it on there so that you can go back and listen to some of these talks. All right. I hate for you guys to miss out on stuff that can really make an impact for your office. So if you go to Vector Gulf Coast Division, and if you go to playlists, all right, you will see a playlist called 2024 AM 6-week training series. And the 4th call is going to go up today into that. All right. And then I'm also going to post, I forgot to give the guys the homework before they left, but the closing sales, 101, as well as 7 types of PDI, and really understanding like what is PDI, like what is it really, and what are the 7 different types of calls that you're actually doing, because it's not all the same. So we talked about earlier in like kind of a bird's eye view, but I have a deep dive that I did with Hunter back in 2020 that can really bring a lot of value for you guys with that. All right. So